All right, so first, welcome back to our tag management tip series brought to you by Tag Inspector. We've already gone through an overview of what this overall journey looks like. So what are the stages, what are the steps you need to take, as well as step one, which are our goals. Step two in this process is tag auditing. So being able to audit and identify what is happening now on the website is key to being able to determine what action then needs to be taken. Because if something's already tracked, for example, there's no reason to recreate the wheel and redo anything that's already there. At the same time, if something's broken, we need to know that it's broken. So many people will come to us when thinking about a tag audit, and they'll want to say, I want to collect everything. I want to see every single thing that's happening on my website, every single data point that's collected, every tag that's collected, every data point that's collected by each tag on every single interaction. I cannot stress enough that this is not the approach that you want to take. We do not want to collect everything. We want to start looking at what are the issues that we are facing, what are the problems related to those issues, and what are our goals. Now, because you've been watching our series and because you've already defined those business goals that you're going to need to take, so you're starting with that end in mind, you're going to know what it is specifically that you're wanting to address. Is your use case more around a performance type of use case, wanting to optimize the performance user experience on the website and how tags relate and play into that? If it's more of a privacy sort of need that you have to be able to identify what tags are there, what data is being captured, and make sure that it's compliant. Or if it's more data related around analytics or new tracking conversion types of tags that either aren't working currently or that you're really wanting to build out that process. So we need to define what that goal is and then structure our tag audit accordingly. Now, a few examples here as we go through some of these different types of use cases and some things that you're going to want to be looking for when it comes to tags and the behavioral information from the tags that you're going to want to be collecting. So first, if you're looking at this more through the lens of performance, we're going to need something, we're going to need to be collecting information not just on what platforms are there, but also technical details. Technical details around the requests that are being sent. So all that data that's being sent from your websites to the platform's own servers and then being returned back and executed by your client's browser, you need to know things such as the volume of requests. I mean, every single browser has limits as to how many concurrent requests can be sent at one point and how many can be outstanding. So we need to know how many requests are being sent. Is that potentially affecting performance? We need to know the size of those requests. The one fixed piece in the entire performance puzzle is obviously the bandwidth that the user is able to have. So there's a limit to the amount of size, the amount of data that can be sent and then pulled down by each tag, by each platform. So we need to know the size of the requests and how those add up together. That plays into the bandwidth. So what does bandwidth for our users look like? Are most of our users accessing the site with a mobile device? That's going to completely change how we're going to be thinking about the tag architecture moving forward, as well as blocking. Are tags on your website? In most cases, they're not going to be, but are they potentially blocking content from loading and blocking our users from getting the information and accomplishing what it is that they're coming to the website in order to be able to do? If we're thinking about privacy, we need to first know a little bit about what policy, what we're trying to optimize for. What are the guidelines that we have to work within when it comes to the data that's being collected and the platforms being used on the website. Number two, we need to know, the third parties that are on the website. So what tags are there? Are they loading in potentially any other tags? We can't optimize and for sure say that our data collection practices are following a particular policy or behaving in a certain way if we don't even know what platforms are there collecting information on the website. And then getting into the nitty-gritty and being able to pull in information around what data is collected by these different platforms, and is it all compliant with our own internal policy as well as any regulations that we need to consider. The final piece here to consider is, if the use case is more data or analytics driven, what is the context? So what contextual information do you need to be collecting about users, about the pages that are being visited, about interactions that they're doing on the website? We need to know what interactions we need to be tracking, and then also what is being tracked now. If we have a huge emphasis on form downloads, for example, or on signups to our loyalty program, but we're not even tracking when users are submitting those forms or registering for those different programs, it's going to be hard to optimize against. So if that's what the goal of this entire analytics implementation is, we need to be able to audit and see, is it being tracked now? If not, what do we want to be tracked there? Then the final thing here is pages. On what pages are my platforms on? If a particular media tag or conversion tag is supposed to be reporting on the number of users that are landing on a particular landing page and then their behavior after that point, if our tag's not even there, we're blind. So knowing what those goals are and knowing what we're looking for, so we know what to collect and what we're comparing against and what we're really looking for as we're collecting information in this audit. So an audit should be all of these things. We should be collecting information specific to what it is that we need to know, but collecting all of this context around what tags are there, what data is collected, how they're performing, where they are, how they're loading. I hope that helps think about the tag audit process, and thanks for joining phase 2.